Good evening, Paleo peeps. This is the family in Final for Life.
And
Julian Bakery. We're making dinner today.
Yep, and we're using our new cookbook, one of our new cookbooks that we got at julianbakery.com called Well Fed Paleo Recipes. So it's a Sunday, so we want to make something nice and hearty. So we're going to make a cinnamon beef stew with orange gremolata. So I've already started, I diced up fine using our little Cuisinart chopper the carrots and the celery. And what's this, Alessia?
Some onions.
Yeah, that I diced up. So we're gonna, that's beef broth for later. So we're gonna start by browning our meat. So we're gonna come over here, and you do it in a Dutch oven. So we have a nice cast iron one that's ceramic coated that we like to use. And the recipe calls for coconut oil, but we're running a little bit low. So I'm just gonna use some olive oil instead. So we don't run out of that until we get to the store. If I can find my olive oil. Okay, and we need 3 tablespoons. So you want to hold the spoon there?
Mm-hmm. And then
hold it over. We got to do 3 of them. Pour it in. Pour it in. And the last one. Oh, go over a little bit more. Good girl. Okay. All right, we're going to let that get hot. And then we have our organic grass-fed beef stew meat over here. And you got to do this in batches so that it gets brown on all sides. So once that oil gets hot, we're going to put some of this meat in there. So like I said, we got our stew meat here. And it's like 2 to 3 pounds. So now that the oil's getting hot, we're gonna put our single layer of beef in here and start browning it.
I'm supposed to do it.
No, because it's oil, honey. It gets hot and it might spit at you. Okay, so we're gonna put these all in. And like I said, you don't want to crowd the pan because you want to make sure that each piece gets nice and gets a nice browning on it.
And crunchy.
So you're actually going to end up doing the beef in batches, which is fine because like I said, the key is to not overcrowd. So I think maybe 1 more piece and we'll be good. Just fit one in there. Okay. And I'm just going to do some salt and pepper while these guys are
cooking.
That's right. Okay, we're going to let those cook for a little bit, and we're going to continue to brown the rest of our meat. Like we're doing between 2 and 3 pounds. So we're going to just cook this all up, and then we'll be back to show you the next step. So now that we have all our beef browned up, reserving in a bowl over here, and we did it in batches, we're going to add our carrots, celery to the same pan. You don't need to add any more oil. And you'll see the pan's going to start getting browned on the bottom. You actually want that because that's going to add tremendous flavor to the beef stew. Onions.
The stew is going to be good.
Yes, it is. And then we need to get our garlic in there as well. Let me just stir this up. Okay. Let me get the mincer. Watch out, baby. Mincer. Our garlic in there. Okay. This recipe only calls for 2 cloves of garlic, but we're major garlic lovers, so I'm putting 4 in. So.
All about keeping inflammation to a minimum.
Got our garlic in there.
We tried to make good food.
Yes, we do.
We do make good food. Yeah.
Allie, so is garlic anti-inflammatory or an inflammatory? What? It's an anti-inflammatory.
Okay, we're going to saute that up a little bit. Let's see what's next on the... Okay, so that needs to cook for like 2 minutes.
Okay. paste in.
Yeah, you can put the paste in. And then we're going to add some tomato paste.
Oh!
Not yet, Allie. All right, now we're going to put the tomato paste. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Watch out because the oil was on that side. Okay. All right, get that in there. Now go wash your hands, Alessia, now that you have oil all over them. Thank you. All right, and then you're going to cook that in the pan with the onions and the garlic, carrots and celery for like a minute. Now, like when we're buying ingredients, obviously we try to get things that are all natural and nothing else in it. So, you know, we're just really careful about reading labels. And obviously get the least processed things you possibly can, if not processed at all.
And this is why we buy a lot of things through. Where do we get stuff, Allie?
Julian Bakery.
That's right.
You know it.
Okay, so now the next step. Go ahead, Allie. Keep stirring while I look at the next step, okay?
Okay.
Okay, the next step is we need to add some vinegar and the broth. And we're going to do what's called deglazing the pan. So I'm adding this, Allie. Start stirring everything up. Try to get all those little brown chunks off the bottom. Oh, don't stir everything outside of it.
Don't go too fast.
Yeah, don't go too fast.
Steady, slow and steady.
There you go. Make sure you're scraping the bottom of the pan, okay? All right, let mommy get it in there. Okay. So you want to scrape all those chunks off, get all that flavor in here. Okay, so that was beef broth and balsamic vinegar. If I didn't say that before, apologize. I'm trying to keep up with cooking and talking at the same time. All right, so we deglazed the pan. All right. Now we're gonna put the meat back in with all the drippings from the bowl. All right. And now we're gonna do our spices as well. So.
Can I do the spices?
Yes, you can. We need 2 teaspoons of salt. And we have, as you can see,
Plus, I'm gonna
big bag of Celtic sea salt that we use. All right, here, dump 1. Come on, hurry up. Dump 2. Okay,
Ow,
you all right?
that hurt.
Did you hit the pot?
Yeah.
All right, you all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta put some pepper in here. You wanna hold the button? Well, mommy. No? Okay. Can you go get me all those leaves over there? Okay, thank you. So we're putting salt, pepper, and then what Alessia's bringing over here is a sprig of rosemary, a sprig of thyme, throw that in, a sprig of sage, and 2 bay leaves. Stir that all up, and then I also need to add some water to this. So we're going to add 3 to 5 cups of water. The recipe says this stew is not supposed to be soupy. It's supposed to, the meat's supposed to take in and evaporate all the water. So I'll start off with 3 cups, and then we'll continue to check it while it's cooking, because it's got to simmer now for 90.
Can I pour that one in?
Yep, it's got to simmer now for 90 minutes. So that was 2. Why don't we start with 2.5? That looks a little soupy in there. Okay, go ahead, pour that in. Thank you.
Or you can mix it.
Okay, now I'm gonna mix everything up.
Can I mix it?
No, mommy wants to get a good mix, okay? Get those leaves down in there, those spices. Just want to make sure we didn't forget anything. And we did forget something. The most important thing.
Bacon?
No! It's called cinnamon beef stew. How could you have cinnamon beef stew without cinnamon?
Can I have one?
No, put two of those in there. And we're going to throw in, go ahead, put them in. 2 cinnamon sticks.
Can I have one?
No, you're not going to eat just a cinnamon stick. All right, so now we have, go ahead. Now we have all of our spices in there. Good thing I checked. How can we have cinnamon beef stew without the cinnamon, right? All right, so now what we need to do is bring that to a boil. And then once that gets to a boil, you're going to reduce the heat to a simmer, and we're starting to see it boil a little bit there. I want to get it more of a rolling boil there. And then you're going to partially cover it and let it simmer for 90 minutes. All right, so we'll be back and show you when it's almost done. And it says like throughout the 90 minutes to just keep checking it. Again, it's not supposed to be soupy. If it starts to dry out, you're going to add more of that water, but only doing it at a half a cup at a time. So we'll see how it works out. It looks a little soupy now, so we'll see where it lands. All right, see you in a little bit.
More like an hour and a half.
So we're down to 6 minutes, and you can see our stew is simmering. It looks fantastic. And give it one little stir. So it's starting to look like gravy. That's what you want to see. Getting a little chunky there. Like I said, we have 6 more minutes. We're going to let that simmer, finish off, and then you're going to take the cinnamon sticks and the leaves out of it from the thyme and the bay leaves. And then in the meantime, we went ahead and made our gremolata, which we're going to top onto the beef stew. So this is parsley, garlic, thyme leaves, and orange zest. Yes, orange zest. So it's all mixed up there, and this is going to top our beef stew when it's ready. So we'll come back in just a few minutes and plate everything together. So our beef stew is almost done, so we're going to get going on some veggies and some other non-starchy sides to go with our beef stew. You know, traditionally beef stew you have over noodles or mashed potatoes. I mean, you could definitely do mashed cauliflower or something like that, but we're gonna go with sauteed mustard greens, which I have already blanched, so they're over here ready to go. And then here I have in the pan a bunch of garlic. Again, big garlic fans with olive oil. We're gonna get that sauteing up, but we're also going to do a wonderful product called Miracle Rice. This product's also available on julianbakery.com, and this makes you feel like you're getting pasta or rice without any of the grains and any of the concerns. Completely gluten-free, soy-free, as you can see from the label,
guilt-free,
and it is really good tasting. So basically, you have to soak these because they have a really strong smell to them because it's made out of shirataki. So we have them soaking, and we have them drained over here. That's what they look like. That's the rice that comes in fettuccine and spaghetti as well. So we're going to get the little bit of water boiling for that. And basically once the water boils, you just pop the rice in, and it only has to blanch for 1 minute, and then you rinse it and it's ready to go. So we're going to have some mustard greens and then some Miracle Rice, and then our beef stew on top with the gremolata. So that's our complete dinner for the day. Okay, our Miracle Rice is done. So we're going to start preparing our plate. We're going to put some of the rice down first. Okay. Now we're going to go get our beef. Look how fabulous that looks. Put that over the Miracle Rice with all that sauce. Looks amazing. This sage leaf out of there. They were hiding in there. Okay, and then we're going to put our gremolata on top. A little bit more. Sprinkle it all over the beef. Okay.
I want to do the gremolata.
And then we got our mustard greens, which we sauteed in olive oil. Watch your hand, please, Alessia.
I know.
And then lastly, just for some added boost, says you could drizzle some olive oil, so we're going to do that too, right over that beef in the mustard greens. So there you have it. It's our cinnamon beef stew on Miracle Rice. The recipe for the cinnamon beef stew is in the Well Fed cookbook, which you could purchase on julianbakery.com. Miracle Rice is also available on julianbakery.com. So guys, order up. Go make a meal. Good night.
Today.